we fight, we face our enemy head on. And when we take their life, we look them in the eye with courage and respect. This is what makes us samurai.
What is good, everybody? We are live. A very good evening or afternoon or morning, depending where you are in the world. This is the Worldwide Company of Gamers, the 28th episode. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. Thank you so much to everyone who supported the show so far. And let's go! I see you, Shaky Shako, in the chat. Let's just take a moment to appreciate all you MVPs in the chat, folks. We've got Toolman55, what's good, brother? Shaki Shako, my dude. Buck Roger, the OG. We've got Oti in the chat. Wufaki, my dude. Nosferatu. Sounds like some kind of vampire from Bloodlines, that does. What's good, buddy? Good to see you here. We've got Jamie Mather. Nice to see you here, buddy. I'll Drain Your Soul. Yikes. You're draining our soul. That's such a good name. Good to see you here as well. A familiar face. Jonathan Martinez. I hear that you've pre-ordered the Callisto Protocol. Probably one of my most anticipated games. Easily my most anticipated game besides God of War, probably, of 2022. I'm so excited for that game. That's a big win right there, brother. Congratulations. And everyone else who's joining, what's good? Really, really glad that you're here. We have a very special show tonight, folks. We have none other than a very talented developer who is working on the awesome game that you see here in front of you. Ripout. Ripout at the top of the screen. It is a game that has been advertised a couple of times on the PlayStation YouTube channel, and it definitely picked up. It definitely turned heads. It got people's attention. It certainly got mine. It definitely got Wilhelm's, although he's not here tonight, sadly. I'm not sure where he is, but hopefully he can jump in at some point mid-show, because I know he would absolutely love to speak to this guy that we have on the show tonight, as he's a huge fan of the publisher 3D Realms, and they are publishing this game. So let's introduce our special guest, Mr. Incredible himself. It's such a cool name. Get to call him Mr. Incredible. How are you, buddy? How are you doing?
Hi, everyone. I'm fine. Great. Thanks for having me.
Oh no, it's our pleasure, mate. It's our honor. It's our privilege, definitely. Really glad that you're here, buddy. Can't wait for you to introduce yourself more and for us to get to know more about you. Right after we introduce the rest of the panel, let's move forward to Mr. Akira. How you doing, buddy? Akira? Oh, he's probably tending to his baby. Dad duties. No worries. We'll leave him for last. Oti, how's it going?
Everything's going well. I finished Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah.
And it was quite an amazing experience, except the fact that the 60 frame per second patch came out a few days after I finished. And I tried that. That is just unbelievable. And I'm now trying to get back into Last of Us 2, and I want to put more time into GT7.
Man, I tell you, I've been playing that Last of Us 2 again after 2 years of not playing it. I put it down after I beat it, and it's still blowing my mind. That shit is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just can't quite get my head around how just the amount of painstaking detail they've gone to in just the little things is ridiculous. It feels almost criminal. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, Oti. Glad to. It was great seeing that video of you with your little girl. She's growing quick. Can't believe it.
Yeah, she is. But yeah, sometimes you might hear her shouting while I'm talking because I'm babysitting at the same time. But so I might mute my mic a bit more.
No problem. We have Retro as another guest on the show tonight. You all know him well. He's been a guest a few times. What's good, Retro? How you doing, buddy?
I'm well, man. How are you?
Oh, mate, I'm buzzing. I'm all the better that you're here. It's great to hear your voice, dude.
Appreciate that, man.
With your Wolves accent. I would say Brummy, but I don't want to offend you.
That's all good. My accent's a bit messed up, really, isn't it?
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. I love your accent, dude. Akira, are you there, buddy? Nope.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Sorry.
Yeah. How you doing? You okay?
No, I've been on cloud nine, man. Again, I've been rewatching trailers. Everything from State of Play caught my attention. Every single thing. PSVR 2 is definitely a day one, and that graphics is. I mean, the Horizon Call of the Mountain, man. I'm trying to imagine that in VR. I'm like, holy shit, man. Man, look at this shit. It's like a Horizon Forbidden West in VR.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. You're gonna forget you're at home. Like you're gonna feel like you just went on a cruise. It's crazy. And apart from that, of course, Resident Evil 4 remake, like I said, Street Fighter 6, definitely rent free in my head.
That looks nuts. I can't wait.
I had high expectations for this game after Street Fighter 5's strong finish. But nah, man, everything was blown away. Like I didn't expect what I was going to see. I was not ready for what I was about to see there. And Final Fantasy 16, of course, my most anticipated game of all time. To be honest, I love everything I'm seeing. The more I see it, the more I love it.
Yeah.
And there was a few interesting things as well. Like Roller Drome looks really interesting. This indie game that was the roller blades and the guns.
It's like a 3D version of My Friend Pedro, right? It's like
it's like a Sifu game coming to fruition again, like another Sifu hit kind of indie type of thing. And it's a console exclusive. I noticed Roller Drome is a console exclusive. And then you had this anime game from also another indie called Eternites, action dating sim. They kind of mixed up. We kind of mixed up a lot of good things, good genres, and it looks like good execution. It really got my interest. And then you had a few VR games as well, like that Walking Dead. Of course, Resident Evil 4 remake getting a VR as well. Village, all VR.
I swear you've got a photographic memory, dude. You've got a photographic memory. Of
course, Callisto
I can't wait to dive
Protocol.
I can't wait to dive into State of Play with you guys on this.
Callisto Protocol as well, of course. It has definitely Dead Space vibes, but it's not Dead Space. I can actually tell, or it's telling me that this is not Dead Space. This is a different game. It looks like a different kind of execution. And it looks really scary, which is like a really good thing. But
awesome.
now that's what I've been doing. I've been rewatching trailers, been watching all of them in slow motion.
Yeah.
Been trying to, been trying to see everything, and it's I kind of, this is like the problem when there's a lot of game events. My time playing games kind of gets reduced because I'm too busy looking at everything. It's kind of like what happens when we get a lot of game news, and we're about to get a lot. Like June is going to be a lot of game news, and I think my game time will be reduced because I'm just looking at everything for now. And again, great times. Summer Game Fest coming in 3 days. It's all good.
Awesome. Right. I'm just tweeting out quickly. We are live. Come hang. Okay, cool. No, that's awesome, dude. No, it's nice to hear that you've been you've not lost that kind of little kid excitement for the things that are coming out. I've got to admit, this State of Play gave me that. I felt like a little kid again. When I saw that Callisto Protocol, it was like everything I could have hoped for from a spiritual successor to Dead Space. And knowing it's made by the same guy, he definitely has not lost it. He definitely has not lost that vision and that talent. I want to just give a shout out to a few more names in the chat. Curtis, what's good? Who's just jumped into the chat. It's great to see you here as well. Udim Ebong. I don't know. I'm sorry, dude, if I butchered that name. It's great that you're here as well. Christian J, what's good, dude? And of course, Goran himself. Goran is the name of Incredible, the developer.
My
and
true name.
He's his true name. It's such a cool name. It's like Geralt. You had a cool story about that name, actually, Goran,
Well,
if I remember.
it's like I said, it's from the Highlands. Like Goran is somebody who lives up on the hills. It's from Serbian, so it's a common name here. Actually, it's not a big deal here. I mean, we now have 3 Gorans in our team, so that's how common it is.
That's awesome. Now, apart from making games, what have you been playing?
Been playing well. I jump around in genres a lot. Like I try to stay aware of most genres. So I've been playing a bit of BioShock that just came out again. Like so been playing Resident Evil 4, the HD version. Been playing a bit of Loot River as well, like Inscription. I don't know. I mean, I'm jumping from game to game, to be honest, lately. So all good games. I mean, I'm really I like to play the old ones to see if they are still up to the task, and they usually are. I mean, some are even better than some of the new stuff that it's coming out. So
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, all over the place.
Wouldn't have it any other way, my dude. I'm very similar. I tend to kind of scatter from game to game. I can never seem to keep in one place and keep still and focus on just one game at a time. But my excuse is I've got ADHD, so there you go. But yeah, I'm just playing right now for everyone to see this awesome game, Ripout. I believe. So, can I ask what's your role of the development?
Officially, I'm the creative director, but unofficially, I mostly do what everybody on the team does. We do gameplay together, and I talk to the artists a lot, and I work on levels. So I'm not a technical person. So mostly on the art stuff and the game design stuff. That's what I like. Also jumping from task to task in the game. Everybody, because it's a small team. It's around 10 people. We all wear a lot of hats in the team, and everybody who has any kind of skill, they use it, and when it's needed in a certain point of development, they jump to the task. So although we do have like the lead programmers and lead graphics guys and stuff like that, we all do a lot of other stuff on the game as well.
That's incredible. So you said you're a team of 10 people?
Yeah.
Wow. That's so impressive, man. Like, considering how small your team is, what you're accomplishing here.
I hope so. I hope we're punching above our weight. So
most definitely,
it's needed in today's market. I mean, it's really overcrowded. There's so much competition, and you really gotta do better than the size of your team. So the sum is bigger than the sum of its parts, or was the saying. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's definitely a dog eat dog kind of brutal industry right now in this space, and with games advancing so fast technologically, it's kind of hard to keep up. But I'm so impressed that a team of 10 have put this together so far. Bearing in mind this gameplay you're all seeing, folks, is pre-alpha, and I was very kindly handed a demo by Mr. Incredible himself, Goran. And we also have a spare code to give away tonight. So anyone who wants to play this game, one of you will have the opportunity to do so. We also have a couple of other codes as well. I have a giveaway of a game Recompile, which is an indie game that didn't do too well. It didn't sell too well, sadly. It was on Game Pass day one, but it still failed to turn a profit. But I, for one, think it's a really awesome game. I've got it on Steam, and I really like it. So I wanted to kind of support the devs and share out a code for you folks. So a lucky winner will win a copy of Recompile. You have to be in the EU, sadly, folks. I do apologise for that. No, actually, no. I'll double check. I can't remember if it's EU or US, but I'll let you know and get back to. And anyone in the chat who's watching tonight could be a lucky winner of that as well. But by the way, if anyone on the panel wants to just speak and interrupt and speak to Goran, by all means, guys. This isn't, I don't want to be one of them hosts who's kind of always on the mic. Anyone who wants to speak at any point, just go for it. And
actually, I had a question.
So have I.
Oh, sorry, Retro, you go first.
OT, you go ahead, man. You go ahead.
No, you're always last, so this time let you do.
All right. What I really want to know, what was the team's? You're making the levels procedurally generated, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I'll just have to explain that. So the rooms that you see here, like the walls and stuff like that, is made by hand. Like it's handcrafted, like it's classic. But there are a lot of elements, like shut off doorways and doors. And walls that can be like randomly generated and block the way, and as well the monster spawns and a lot of items, everything in that sense is generated, and the combination of the rooms, like the next room and the next room, the layout of the entire ship is always different. So it's a combination of handmade and procedurally generated passages.
And is that to keep the gameplay fresh with each run? Is it kind of like Returnal in that way? Is where each playthrough is kind of fresh?
Yeah. We're going. That's like our main goal to create each mission unique for the players. So not a single mission is supposed to be the same. There's always going to be differences in sizes of the ships, of the layouts of the levels, of the monster types, of the monster mounts, the way where they spawn from, how many of them spawn, what spawns, which combinations of small critters they use. So and loot, and there is a lot of roguelite elements to it, like getting some buffs that last only through the mission. So it's always different. So, and we're like, the demo has only 2 missions that they're fixed, but in the final game there are going to be a lot of missions, and they're all going to be random with some story points that are going to be kept the same for each run, but they're also going to be taking place on randomly generated ships.
Okay, cool. Oh, that sounds awesome.
Goran,
appreciate the answer. Thank you.
Cool.
That's awesome, Goran. People are already saying that they like what they're seeing in the chat. Curtis definitely seems like he likes it, and you're getting a lot of already positive feedback from the gameplay. But one question is, when is this game scheduled to actually release?
It's certainly releasing before the end of the year. When exactly, we're still working on it. Like because we have to put it out on consoles as well as PC. So it depends when all of that will be ready. It should be ready before the end of the year. I mean, we're pretty sure. But I'm not gonna give the exact date because I'm not even sure.
Nice.
At this point. So of course, we get from this demo, like the feedback from this demo, and what we feel that doesn't work well, they're gonna go into the final version. So we're really looking out for all the feedback at this point. So that might also decide if we push it a few weeks or a month down the line, while we try to respond to everything.
It's released on console and PC at the same time.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Awesome.
Oti, you had a question, brother.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask, what engine are you using?
Unreal 4. It's Unreal
And
4.
if you, I just had a few questions about that because if you're using Unreal Engine 4, and I've been just doing a bit of because I also do architectural visualization, so I'm using Unreal Engine 5.
Okay.
I've been finding Unreal Engine 5 when you turn on features like Lumen for global illumination, for reflections. I've been finding it to be a bit heavy. So I've been finding that if you bake the light, Unreal Engine 4 style, you actually get more efficient results in terms of performance for your PC. So I'm wondering, is there a reason why you've stuck to Unreal Engine 4 rather than migrate to Unreal Engine 5?
Well, the main reason is I think it would take too much time to port it at that point. I mean, when we started the game, the Unreal 5 wasn't out yet, and we were once it was out and like available for use, we were already like 50% in the development, and all the code and all the materials and everything would have to be updated. So it was that was the main reason, I think, and we weren't sure how much we would be getting at that point. You know, we would have to go into Unreal 5 and do a lot of research and see what is to be gained. I mean, about the baking, we don't use baking because it's procedurally generated. We cannot bake the maps. So everything is dynamic. All the lights are dynamic. So it was one of the performance hits we needed to address, and
So you're telling me your lights are actually shadow casting?
yeah, some of them. I mean, we switch them off where we don't need them. Like we use the lights without shadow if it's not important. But in the important areas where you expect to see the shadows and you expect to see the monsters dropping the shadows, yeah, we definitely use dynamic lights. So since it's true, you know, we also, if you look at the scene, we switch them off and on as well during the gameplay. So it's completely you know, in our control during the gameplay. If you want to, you know, give some jump scares or have flickering lights, since none of it is baked, that's the plus. But the minus side is that, yeah, with baking you can make stuff look better, and the performance is also better. But I think we got it down to a good FPS for our targets, like definitely for PlayStation 5 and Xbox, and our target PCs also. We've tested it and it's going pretty well at this point. So even with this obstacle, the game runs fine.
Oh, that's really good to hear. That's good to hear.
Nice. This is awesome. Bender of Strings, shout out to you, sir, in the chat. He asks, what game is this? This game is called Ripout. Definitely give it a look. It was advertised by PlayStation a couple of times and really got my attention as well as others on the panel. And so we're interviewing Goran, one of the developers of this game. They're a small team of 10, we found out tonight, which makes it all the more pretty incredible. I guess that's worthy of your Discord name, Goran.
No, actually, it's an old handle from like back in the early 2000s when I was playing online shooters. That was the name that my brother and I actually shared an account and used that name before The Incredibles came out. Like, it was the first time the trailer for The Incredibles came out, and we just let's use this. It sounds good as our internet handle, and it just stuck throughout. Almost 20 years, yeah, since then. So it's that's where that comes from. Not that I think that highly of myself. It just it's just a gameplay nickname from the old days.
As humble as ever. So before,
sorry, Willie, I've got one question.
Go for it, Retro.
Yeah. You've got this thing called a pet in the game. I want to know who came up with that idea of sending out like a little pet to go and like sick other smaller creatures. You know, to get is it buffs or something you get?
Buffs. You grab the small creatures with a pet, or you like tear off their limbs or heads with the pet. So yeah, well, when we were starting out, we wanted to do this like I'm a big fan of bioorganics and HR Giger. Even our first game that we made here in Serbia was Genesis Rising, which was completely with an RTS with genetically modified spaceships, and I always liked toying with that. So we as a team came up with like, if we were going to do a bioweapon, let's not just do it in texture and graphics. Let's really have it be alive and do something rather than just having it made out of meat and saying it's organic without actually showing it off in some way. So that's where the idea came from originally. Also, I'm really a fan of like the late 90s when they were really experimenting with the types of weapons that you use, which you don't really see in the games anymore. Like, the Duke Nukem and Half-Life and every Doom and Quake, they always came up with new original crazy weapons, and they just stopped doing that. Like the industry is quite happy with where it's now, I guess. And there is a defined arsenal that you get in the games now. Like you know what you're getting, and we definitely wanted to go back to that retro style of, okay, well, let's have some crazy weapons and do it a bit differently.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, well, in the 90s, I was mostly into comics and movies, and since
flipping it.
there
Sorry,
was
Goran. I'm really sorry. I was muted that whole time. I'm a really bad host. I'm really rusty. My mic was muted. I'm really sorry. I was just asking the audience to let us know if the game's lagging, if the footage is lagging, if the audio is lagging, let me know. I'm really sorry about the connection instability. It's happening again. I'm trying to get it fixed. I do apologise about this. And I just asked Goran, guys, what's his inspiration that got him into game development? Tell us more about him and his story. Carry on, Goran. Sorry, brother.
Yeah, no problem. Like I was really big into comics and movies, and I was making those, trying to actually go into movies and direct. So I was going in that direction, but through comics, I was working on a magazine, and the magazine, the owner of the magazine was looking for a team of developers in the early 2000s, and I was a big fan of games already. Like I spent most of my free time playing games, and and there was a comic that we made, the comic about this organic world, about this far future that we thought was great for a strategy game. And then when we had a chance actually to jump at it, me and my co-author of that comic jumped to the chance and said, yeah, we can do it. We had no idea how to make games. I mean, we really had zero idea. That was really bad at that time, because we had no idea how difficult it is to get an engine and make an engine, because you couldn't get an engine at that time. That was like Quake 3 was like $1 million at that time, and Unreal, I think, also, and all the others were not nearly as good as like Unity and Unreal are right now. So we had to make our own engine, and we had to come up with a team, and there wasn't that much experience in our country with making games. There was no industry at that point, so we just kind of lied and tried to do it, and it took a lot of years to make an engine and the game. So that's how I began, and I really fell in love with creating worlds. I mean, that's the main thing that the games have and that the other media doesn't, is like creating worlds that you can be in. Like you can watch it and you can read about them, but being in them and inspecting the worlds, that's what is the most like exciting for me every time, even 20 years later. Like I love having a chance to walk through a room that we created, and just making it better and getting all these ideas in. It's really about this.
I love it. That's so awesome that you just had the motivation and the kind of the audacity rather to just go for it, even though you felt completely like a fish out of water. And look at where you are now, and how a team of 10 could create this. I think it's incredible. So about this game, what's it actually about? If you could summarize it for us, people are asking in the chat.
Yeah, it's the official story is that the humanity has created like a cell. It's an intelligent entity that can combine flesh with machines. It was first used for like medical purposes and on the battlefield, but then it went rogue, started creating things of its own, and totally destroyed Earth's population. So what was left of the population got up on this refugee fleet of ships and tried to escape and go for a sanctuary, a place where humans think they would be safe. But the cell somehow made it to the ships and destroyed a lot of them. So you are one of the soldiers using that same technology, but still functional, the pet gun and your suit, trying to go board these ships and destroy the cell infested areas and try to find out what happened, as well as try to get to the sanctuary yourself before everything is consumed.
Nice. I'm not gonna lie, when I was playing it, I got subtle Dead Space vibes from the enemies. I don't know if you've heard that before or whether that was an inspiration.
Yeah, of course,
for you,
yeah. I mean, it's really hard to get away from Dead Space and Doom if you're doing a space horror. I mean, those are the two staples of the genre, and definitely if you especially if you do body horror as well. So those are games in the same genre, and definitely games that came as part of the inspiration for it. I mean, we love Dead Space, and most importantly, we love like the early 80s movies like The Thing and The Fly and every body horror and sci-fi that was created boldly in those times, not so present in today, sadly, and mixing it up with Alien as well, and corporations that inhabit these worlds that create these monstrosities. So there is a mix to it. That there is definitely elements of Dead Space, and like the monsters have weak spots that I always love about the Dead Space and Resident Evil. That you've tried to find their weak spots and shoot them off. So we tried something else, adding the pet that can rip those weak spots off. So yeah, there is a lot of inspiration from those games.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have a list of questions for you, but if any of the panel or the chat have a burning question that you see that you would like to answer, or the panel have questions, by all means, don't hesitate.
I wanted to ask, what software are you using to create the levels?
Unreal. Everything is done in Unreal.
Oh, you're building everything in Unreal.
Do you mean from the graphics, like the models, like the
yes,
the
do
models?
you use Maya? To build.
Yeah. For models, it's Maya and ZBrush. It's all Maya and ZBrush. Yeah, but like they're put together. Everything is put together in Unreal, so everything is. But yeah, the models themselves, like the individual pieces, everything is from Maya and ZBrush. Like we do
Nice.
low poly in Maya and high poly in ZBrush. And actually, we do a lot of monsters directly in ZBrush because our concept artists insist on making them in 3D first of all, and then instead of drawing them, which I insisted he doesn't do in a lot of cases, but like he just loves it and just puts away 3D models as concepts, and then we take it from there.
You can tell he's a developer at heart.
Sorry.
You can tell he's a developer at heart. Like he loves his job.
No. He loves it, but he's not like a developer. He just loves creating monsters. He's not technical. Like he uses ZBrush and doesn't care about polygons or the problems we might have in the game. But like really, just creates a cool monsters. And here it is. You take it from here. I've done my job. So yeah. So. Definitely. I mean, we've been using ZBrush in development for a long time. It was a game changer when it came out back in 2003, I think. Yeah, it was really changed the way that things work.
Interesting. So basically, ZBrush and Maya are the main to model some of these things, and then you put everything in Unreal.
Model and animate as well. It's animated in Maya, modeled in Maya, and yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So, 3-player co-op. Was there a reason 3 was chosen over, say, like 2 or 4?
Yeah, we wanted to go 4, and then we kept getting messy gameplay. Like 4 was the point where it started to break down and become too actiony and too messy, and we just went back on 3, and 3 was like the max that we thought. It could keep its tactical and horror elements and tension. Like I'm not sure to tell you why it works with 3. I mean, it wasn't like a decision like, okay, like let's go down to 3, but it just with every game test that we had, 3 was better than when we like technically we can just switch on a number and put more players. It technically works. It's not at all limited to it, but it just felt right every time we tried it. It works just fine in solo and 2. I mean, it's not. We try to keep it balanced for solo and 2 players as well as 3. We don't have a preference. There are some things that you can do with 3 players that you cannot do solo, but most of the features are there present in solo, and probably solo is the scariest. Like horror games are always scariest when you play them alone. And,
yeah.
Some of these
thank you.
Some of these damage models are crazy. Like I'm watching this, just keep replaying it. This dog-like creature, you shoot it, and it's really well done. Like with the shoulder weapon that I equipped, that I gathered from the ground. And the blaster kind of blasts a big hole in this dog-like monstrosity. It's brutal. It's really impressive.
Thanks.
Yeah, no.
Well, we like gore, like I said. I mean, body horror and gore. It's one of the reasons these games are played and made.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're very excited for Callisto Protocol and.
Dead Space. I don't like that they're coming out at the same time as we are because it's the same audience, and it looks really really detailed and well done. It's like it's top production, and I am, like I said, big Dead Space fan, and Glenn Schofield is doing it. It's always going to be a very scary quality game. It's very excited. Yeah.
Well, that's very very humble of you to admit that them games coming out, you kind of among titans in the industry. And that kind of brings up a question that I never prepared for you, but it is definitely something that's burning on the minds of a lot of people. And for you as a developer, especially a relatively small team making this game, does Bender of Strings mentioned, is this going to come out on PS Plus Extra or Game Pass? Do subscription services day one? How do you juggle that as a developer? Is it a pressure to kind of agree to a subscription service? Is there a cost? Is there a risk or a gamble of doing something like that? or
I really wouldn't know at this point. It will be up to 3D Realms to see if they would be making those kind of deals. I mean, the only pressure we have is to make it work by the agreed milestone and make it work like another studio is doing it, the porting and everything. So that's the pressure we have. But as far as the financial structure, like those game passes, and we're not sure. I mean, that's not something that we
Yeah.
are stressed about.
Oh, that's good.
I mean,
That's good news.
if it's whatever is good for the game, it's as far as I'm concerned, it's not my area of expertise, to be honest.
But Goran, if say your publisher did choose a subscription service day one, you would still get ensured that you would still make a profit as developers, or would you have to agree to that? Or
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always it's a talk. I mean, it's a cooperation. Like it would have to make sense for both us and the publisher. I mean, it's not like they would do something that would be totally against our benefit. I mean, it's a partnership at this point, and we don't like something that would be bad for us would probably be bad for them. So if it's good for them, it's probably good for us. I mean, it's not. I don't see it as a one-way street.
No, that's awesome. I appreciate that, and thank you for your candid answer. So as for tech utilization and challenges, has there been like what kind of engine challenges and iteration challenges have you faced? Is there a time budget challenge that you guys have? How have you managed that kind of? Or have you guys just not crunched? Have you guys just kind of it's ready when it's ready? And what major challenges have you faced?
Yeah, well, there is a time challenge. I mean, even when there is, maybe there isn't a challenge where somebody is working alone or if people are working like off during 3 hours, but since we're full time and there's obviously a budget that we're burning through, so yeah, we do have milestones and we do have time limits. They were fair. I have to say it wasn't like we didn't need to crunch a lot. There are always like crunches in development. It depends how many and how often. I mean, we just had a crunch before the demo. It wasn't like we didn't have enough time, but you just want to, when you know that something is going live, you're going to crunch because you want to put in as much things there as possible and try to squish as many bugs. Like if you gave us another month, we would probably crunch for another month because we'd still be squishing some bugs and trying to put in some features or improve on some things. So from that standpoint, yeah, we did crunch a few times, but from the like the budget and the timeline, it was well planned, and we didn't have a lot of that. I mean, we did. We did solid amounts of work per day, but crunch, like I don't think it's healthy. And after a month of crunch, you start making too many mistakes and you start hating the game, and that's never good. I mean, I know a lot of this industry is based on crunch, but I just see people going to run away from it as the result. I mean, I read somewhere that the 5 years is like an average that people stay in the industry, and I think that's one of the reasons.
Wow.
It's short time and average. I mean, I've managed to stay for 20 years, and I think one of the reasons is I didn't really I tried to choose companies and like projects that wouldn't be insane on the workers and the project itself. But it's inevitable for some projects, and especially when you have a like $10 million per month budgets or something that it's insane. You have to you have to finish it, otherwise you burn through too much money and the release dates and expectations. So it's understandable.
Yeah.
But we're a small team, so
Well,
it's it wasn't that much of an issue. Like we knew what we could do, like, and we always had features that we could cut if it came to it, if or that we could introduce later on when the game goes out. We get some updates for the game that we want, rather than trying to cram it in and put out a buggy game with a lot of features that don't work.
Yeah. Makes 100% sense. And I like what you said about you do a reasonable amount, but when it starts to get silly, like that's kind of where you draw the line. And I think it's reasonable to conclude that in many jobs there's a level of crunch, but some push it to an extreme where you're sleeping in your car and barely having time to see your family for weeks and weeks and weeks on end, and that's no environment.
It's I mean, and there's a culture that even approves that, and like, yeah, you're doing a great job, you're very you're very passionate, and no, it's not good. I mean, it's not good for anyone, this kind of life. You need to have a rest, and there needs to be a reason for work. I mean, work cannot be just justified like for entire weeks or days or 14 hours a day, that it becomes pointless.
Preach.
I mean, sure, sometimes, but as a way of life, it's really scary if everything is going in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, spitting facts there, my guy. Absolute spitting facts, and I'm sure a lot of people right now are kind of who would watch this would go like, preach, tell them it's not good, it's not acceptable, and hopefully that culture does change and adapt to what's right. No, I love that, man. Thank you for your answer. Again, like if anyone has questions and wants to come in, by all means do. I have a list of 4 more questions to ask you, but I don't want to steal the mic.
I want to ask.
Go for it, Kara.
Incredible.
Yeah.
For example, Ripout becomes a success, right? Let's just say like that. Do you have you guys have plans to to expand, or for example to make a different type of game next time, like a third-person game, for example? Do you have any plans after that, like after Ripout?
Well, we're definitely
that's not planned ahead yet.
We are planning ahead a bit. Like, we're definitely sure if it does well enough, we are going to keep working on it and expand it. So because this genre and the way that we made it with these generally created ships and the monsters that come out and scenarios that happen, we want to make a richer pool of where this procedurally generated stories come from. So we do have a plan to expand upon it if it's financially viable. It doesn't have to be a big hit or anything, but we want to make it a richer experience down the line as well. Like, we want to have a good game at start with the features that we seem are like necessary, and then we want to go a bit wilder in additional features and settings down the line. And we'll definitely as for the other question, if we're thinking about another game, third person or first person, as long as it's a shooter and we don't go too far in this genre. I mean, one of the mistakes I think that a lot of developers, myself included, make is jump from genre to genre and make too many mistakes, too many changes, and you have to learn. Every time you have to learn a new genre and make new mistakes, and staying within something that lets you create a better game faster and avoid the mistakes from the previous ones. So yeah, we definitely want to. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm asking because do you know a game called Vanquish?
Yes, it's I've
been looking for an indie developer who kind of takes ideas from it, tries to make something out of the ideas from Vanquish, because the mechanics from Vanquish kind of stayed with Vanquish. It was never used again. And I was
Yeah, I
wondering if
know
there
it,
were
it
any
wasn't.
in
It
development.
didn't do as well as. Yeah, I know it was a quality game that didn't do as well as they hoped. I think it was. Yeah,
Has a lot
But
going
it
for
was a really great game. It's one of my favorite third-person shooters. It's actually my favorite third-person shooter,
okay.
Vanquish, because there's nothing like it. Is what I want to say. It's kind of like there's nothing like it the way the gameplay works and the way you said it, right? The way you said it, that developers, especially new ones, need to stick with with what they do best first. Master that craft, like you said.
Yeah.
This kind of reminds me of the Fable situation a little bit. The being made by Playground Games kind of reminds me a little bit of that. What you said, because there is a big transition to try a different genre.
Yeah.
After you've done something that, let's just say, you need to relearn a genre. Basically, you need to relearn everything again if you're going to start the
Yeah.
genre.
Yeah.
So shooter's kind of like your primary choice of genres, you guys.
Yeah. Well,
10 of you
we
basically, right?
right now we were all doing a lot of different games before this, and but we were all always fans of shooters, and then it was like
Shooters.
the decision for a game is, once you have to have an investor that is ready to invest in a certain type of platform, like is it going to be mobile, is it going to be PC, is it going to be a console,
Switch.
there's a lot of Switch. So that's one thing. The other is which genre you're going to do and what's the budget. So when you have to look at the market as well, and then you have to also have the team that wants to do it and has a passion to do it. So all these things have to align, and this is the first time in a long time that we all aligned with all the things that we want to do and we can do, and somebody wants to finance it. So it was that's the reason, like the shooter, and then the next one is going to be easier because we already have the tools and know-how, and that's where
Yeah,
we're
experience.
coming from.
When you refine your craft over years and you're putting out multiple games that get better and better and better, and you build that success record in that particular genre that you focus on, you can maybe afford to then take risks. But it's obviously
After some time, it's definitely you have to. I mean, you can't also just make one and
Can't be stagnant. Yeah.
but you have to get to that point that you can.
Yeah.
So it's not an
At the
easy
end of the
point
day,
to
you develop games because you love developing games, not just because it's a job.
This game is
yeah, well,
this
there
game
is
is
no
coming out
other
on
reason. I
PlayStation,
mean,
right?
sorry.
This game is coming on PlayStation. Right?
Yeah, PlayStation and Xbox and Steam and the Epic Store. So
Carry on, sorry, Goran.
yeah, no, I just said that there is. I don't think there is a big financial reason to do games. I mean, yeah, you can have mega hits and make tons of money, but most of the time the developers they can make more money in other areas, other like industries. I mean, inside the IT industry, going away from games. I think games are they're far harder to make, and there's a lot more crunch. And if you see the way the people make money after they get out of the industry, a lot of people that loved games and they got out because they got better offers of money. It was really easy for them to transition to something else. Like, it wasn't as hard, but the ones that really loved games and didn't care about that stayed. They want to make games, and of course, you have to have a reasonable life.
Yeah, facts.
But I think that the point is you have to love it. I mean, otherwise it's really, really pointless and hard.
Have you put any of your own personality? Have you put any of your own personality and culture into this game, or is there anything that you've kind of is there any of your team, have you put kind of your own quirky twists on things that kind of match your personality, or have you
characterized
or have you put any of your own culture into this game? Is there any examples?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of, like I said, we love the body horror, and the that's what we're passionate about. But we're all different personalities, I have to say, in the team, and we try to find things that match the genre and don't jump out of the genre. First of all, like we try to put some humor through. You will see the posters and the backstory of the game. So like some things that we don't want to have it dry sci-fi, but we want to have a lot of humor, like RoboCop in the 80s had with the corporations and
Yeah.
that kind of Paul Verhoeven like approach, brutal images juxtaposed with really funny characters.
I'm not gonna lie, the hands crawling across the ground, the arms are hilarious. Like, it kind of gave me like the
there are always some funny elements to it, so yeah, there is a bit of humor and a bit of twisted twisted body horror inside. I would say that that is the most. But the like the game doesn't have like NPCs and doesn't have cutscenes and stuff like that. So so there will be the atmosphere and some personal things will be found through environmental storytelling and details found throughout the game. So yeah, the personality will come through that.
Awesome.
Apart from, of course, the obvious gory monsters and
Yeah, it's like what do you call this? Dying Light, for example, the Dying Light developers, Techland, right?
yeah.
They kind of do that where they put their personality a little bit into their games, and they have these I don't know if you know this, right? In some of their games they have these secret bunkers,
Oh,
like in
okay.
Dying Light, for example. Like there's like a secret bunker there where it's like it's like a hangout for the developers because there's just a lot of Easter eggs from their studio, and you can see their names, and that was like that kind of personality that they put in the game. Shadow Warriors does it as well. The developers of Shadow Warriors,
Yeah.
Flying Wild Hog.
Yeah,
They also do that.
I love the when developers put those things. I think we will do something similar. It's
Yeah.
always it's always any detail that goes into game. We try to make it for the benefit of the game, since we're so widely spread, like thinly spread. So these things like special rooms and stuff like that, yeah, that's wonderful, as long as we have like a day in the week to do it.
Yeah,
And,
I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
you're kind of busy
Yeah.
making the game right now. I'm not going to keep you much longer, brother, as I promised you an
No
hour
problem.
and really respect your time. So we'll go through these quite quick, but these are probably, it's ironic, isn't it? These are the most important questions that I've saved. So if we could just blitz through these so that you can get off.
Just take your time, it's no problem.
I really appreciate that. Gameplay mechanics. How have you found the challenge of making the play loop successful? So there's a play loop to this game. I know. I've seen the word looter with this game said quite a number of times, and I did pick up quite a lot of loot during my playthrough. So how have you managed to create a successful play loop, and has that been a big source of discussion between you guys to keep people playing?
Yes, it has. I mean, the one always thing is like, why are you going into this scary ship time after time? Like, why are you always landing on the ships, and what is your motivation apart from the game tells you to? So that's where two things came in. First, we wanted to give those like, we love roguelites that they the roguelites. I think they made a bit of difference to loops in games in recent years. So we definitely like the enhancements that you can get through the machines in each area in the game. So we want players to feel like, oh wow, what kind of a build and what kind of buffs am I going to gather throughout this run, and how strong in different ways I'm going to be. and the other is like, okay, I really need some upgrades for my pets to make him be able to do more things, and
nice.
I'll be stronger in the next ship. So that's the important thing. So one is the ones that are not permanent, that are temporary, and the other is permanent upgrades. Those are the motivations that we wanted. Like, okay, run through the ships, and then you get to your hub ship, and you craft new stuff, and you get new get a chance to try out some new strategies. So that's one motivation for going in. And of course, we wanted these small story chunks that you discover throughout the derelicts that are thrown throughout the campaign, that are also going to be an additional motivation. But like, it's not like a full-on looter shooter, like you go in guns blazing and everything is falling all around the monsters.
It's not Borderlands.
Yeah, but there is an element to it, definitely. You need that hamster brain to be satisfied.
Nice.
So even if it's scary and hard, it's going to be a hard game. You need to have that reward, and that reward is not just like you're going to be stronger, but you're going to see some new things. You're gonna play differently next time.
I love that, man. I'll just say from personal experience, after playing this game, I know it's a demo, so things are limited and walled off from being accessible, but I like the concept of going back to your ship, seeing everything you've acquired from various expeditions in these scary ships, derelict ships. You see it all in your spaceship back at base, and you're able to customize your character and go in prepared for the next one. It's a really satisfying thing. I also like the fact that your pet can stun and disrupt enemies as they're charging at you, and you're reloading and you're running out of time, and you're like, fuck it, and you press I think it was F on the keyboard, and your pet just latches onto the head of this big scary boss, and he's like trying to get him off, and it gives you a moment to back away, and it does allow for tactical strategic maneuvering and gameplay, because you don't walk very fast in this game, and your stamina is limited. So I really like that element. It's pretty cool.
Cool. Glad to hear it. I mean, we're still like ironing out the exact gunplay feel, and how fast you can switch between these things. Like, we're getting feedback about people wanting to be able to throw the pet even though they're using the gun and stuff like that. So we're still working on how much stamina you have, and it's definitely not going to be a fast game, but we're probably going to add a few features to make it more smooth in some areas.
Awesome. So how important, speaking of feedback, how important has community feedback been for you guys?
Well, very, very important. I mean, that's one of the reasons that we're putting out the demo right now. Like, we wanted to really, let's get it into the hands of players and journalists, and get honest feedback, see where we're at. It has to, we need it, because it's not a tried formula with this pet gun and the procedurally generated ship. So there are a lot of things that are, we're not sure how people are going to react, and what things they're going to latch onto, and what are the grievances going to be. So it meant a lot, and it means a lot that it's mostly the same things. Like, we're not too surprised about the feedback and what we need to change, which is good, because if we needed to change a lot of things, we wouldn't have time at this point. But like, all the changes that we're hearing that are requested are feasible in the amount of time that we have left for the development.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. It's reassuring when you kind of already think you know what needs to be done, and sure enough they confirm it, and it's not throwing a spanner in the works like, oh, we didn't think about that. So it shows how on the ball you guys are, and in touch with your communities, what your community
we're
wants.
gamers. I mean, I think that comes from that. I mean, first and foremost, I think we're gamers, and then developers. I mean, that's speaking for myself at least. I don't know if someone from the team would correct but I enjoy playing games first of all and then making them. So I wouldn't want to make something that I won't play myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, your friendly PS guy, for the kind feedback, and Curtis as well. The demo is currently on Steam, am I right?
On Steam, it's not on PS.
It's
Sorry,
not out on PS yet, but
I don't know if it's gonna be later down the line. So it's possible. I can't say, but if it's possible to port it, we'll make the demo for PS5
incredible.
as well.
Yeah, we'll definitely be on that. And one last question, my friend. How have current gen consoles affected development? Have you found them to be easier to work with, or more difficult than previous generation consoles?
Well, I think the easy part is like you don't have to worry about graphics and cramming in a lot of like high poly models and animations, and you can practically do anything without worrying whether it's going to be able to run. But on the negative side of all this, better equipment that we're getting, and processors getting so powerful, and the graphic cards being able to pull and it's very similar now between PC and PS5. There's not a big difference anymore like there used to be in developing, because the engines support everything now. The problem is the industry is going in the way that there's too much work for a single game. There's too much material needed now. Like creating a single model now, you need a lot more time and a lot more expertise. Like before, when in the 90s they were all blocky and you were focused on the gameplay, and really small teams could make a game. And now just one model, like it's insane how much time you need to create all the hair and the all the clothes and the details and skin and the realistic eyes, for instance, if you're making a human. Even if you're making a monster, I mean, you saw the Callisto Protocol, how much details they have. It's just bumped up the amount of people that you need, and that means that there is a lot less risk that you can take, because there is a lot more money that needs to be put into the game. A lot more teams, a lot bigger teams need to be. So the bigger the bigger the consoles are, the stronger they are, the bigger the game teams need to be, and the expectations are crazy right now. I mean, how well animated it all is, and how detailed the worlds are. Insanely detailed. There's an insane amount of models needed, animations needed, coding to make it all work. So that's like the one thing that really bothers me about the direction of the industry. I mean, I love seeing a realistic, detailed game, but every time I see it, I say, "Oh my God, how much
time
how much time did they it's insane amount of time. I mean, and it's getting insaner. So that's like Unreal now says, okay, we can run like millions of polygons without a problem. From a development standpoint, yeah, that's very nice, but you have to make those models.
That's such an amazing point. Such an amazing point, dude. I mean, it's like, curse you, Naughty Dog. Curse you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's only. I'm afraid that there are going to be, in the end, very few studios that are going to be able to make AAA games, and that the industry is going to be focusing on fewer games rather than more games, and that means ultimately for the players less variety and less different genres. That they're definitely going to be like you already saw a lot of genres being crammed into one. Like if you play Far Cry, I mean, it's an RPG as well as a shooter and an adventure game and an open world, and I mean you and a driving game. You have everything in that game because it's you need the wide audience. And yeah, it's great to have that experience as a gamer, but I would love to have like a totally different experience next time with some game that doesn't require like all that.
I think there's gonna be a point where it's kind of like a ceiling's going to be reached and things are going to have to change for develop. From what I've heard from numerous developers who have echoed what you've said, you all seem pretty unanimous in that, and it makes complete sense. But maybe AI is the solution to stuff like that. You know, maybe as AI progresses, AI algorithms, we've already seen that AI algorithm that's able to create these incredible paintings like that look so in depth and so detailed it's scary, but completely conjured, made up, yet they look so authentic. And it's like, well, could AI assist developers to do far more in far less time?
It's possible, but I don't think it's near there yet.
Right,
I mean, it's like for a long time I've been hearing like this sort of tool is going to appear, and then we're going to have an easier time. But it gets harder and harder. It didn't get easier at all. I mean, from the last 20 years, it's only harder.
Yeah.
The way I say it, it's never like as soon as you introduce something that helps, the bar is raised and you have to jump over new heights.
Wow.
So
it's sobering. It's sobering. It's a sobering kind of wake up call, really. That
we'll see. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, no, I really appreciate everything that you've said tonight, and there's been absolute golden nuggets of information, Goran. It's been.
Thank you for having me. It was an enjoyable experience, really. I mean, it's like a friendly chat in a room.
It's been awesome. I don't know about the panel, how the panel feel, and if there's any last questions they have for Goran before he goes.
For me, I just want to say,
really looking forward to getting my hands on it.
Yeah, I love it. Go on, Retro. Sorry, say that again.
I was just saying, I just can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm really looking forward to giving it a go. You know, me and you're definitely going to be running for it.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely going to be a co-op game that we will all be playing together.
Definitely,
100%. I can't. I'm gonna definitely share this out and do my best to get this game on my small little humble radar for people that are in my commute, like pocket bubble of friends and mutuals. And I can't wait to play this game when it's fully out and be able to kind of customize my character and get all the unlocks and share it, just kind of play with friends and stuff. It's gonna be a dope experience. OT, did you say anything? Sorry.
No, I just want to say thanks so much for coming onto the show and giving us these answering these questions, because I can already tell the passion he has for this, and I'm assuming the team has the same passion, and it's really given us a lot of insight into how developers experience the whole dev cycle. So I'm just wishing him and the team all the best.
Thank you. Well, thank you all. Thanks for having me. Like enjoyable, and I'll keep watching your channel from now on. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Goran. Where can we find you, my brother? Are you on Twitter? Is there anyone that we should follow? Any information that you want to give out?
Like Ripout Game on Twitter, I think, and you can. And I'm on Discord constantly, so on our channel in Discord, and so it's best there.
Awesome. We will definitely do that. I'll share out your Discord as well. Once you leave, I'll definitely share it out to everybody. And in fact, I'll do it now. I'll just copy and paste it in the group chat. Sorry, in the YouTube chat. There we go. That's Incredibles, Goran's Discord, folks. Follow Ripout on Twitter, Ripout Game, and definitely get in on this community. This game deserves all the attention it gets. Having played it for a couple of hours now, I'm really excited for the final product and can't wait to play it on my PS5. Incredible! It's been incredible. Thank you so much for joining us, and we really hope you've enjoyed your time on the show. We've enjoyed having you. Take care.
Have a good rest of the night, day, whatever it is.
You too, brother.
In your areas. Okay. Bye.
Good night. Good night. Bye, bro. What a Chad, guys. I thought that went really freaking awesome as an interview.
Yeah.
And we kept it professional, man.
Yeah. Well, it's difficult. It's difficult because I wanted to pry more about how he felt about like the kind of the changing market and consumer practices and habits, and like if PS Plus or Game Pass kind of approached him, or they approached them for the putting their game on, how would that work? But I didn't want to pry too much, you know.
Yeah. I wanted to ask him what he finds better to develop for the PS5 or the Xbox. But I thought, no. I'll just leave that one.
Curb the fanboy. Curb the fanboy. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
That's exactly what it was, man.
Yeah, it's great to see Zuby Tech in the chat. What's good, Zuby? Great that you're here, brother. So, guys, with that being said, before we move on to the next topic, is there anything that you guys just want to say, or anything that he said that particularly stuck out to you?
Just buy the game and support it. It looks fantastic. It really does. I can't wait.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, guys. It's for a pre-alpha. I was really impressed, and then to find out it was a team of 10, I was like, holy shit! You know, a team of 10 made this. It's crazy. But you all saw the gameplay for yourselves. That was my gameplay that I captured, and yeah, it's exciting, man. Looking forward to it coming out. So,
you know, for me, what he said that I found a bit sobering was he was saying that despite all these things that have been done, it is still getting harder to make games, and it's partly because the expectations are rising phenomenally faster than the rate of technology. So, for instance, when it comes to a detailed character, you know, GT, they were saying that one car takes 6 months, and that's why we're having fewer and fewer cars in every GT that comes out, every numbered GT. So he's basically getting to the point where he's saying in the future, you may find there are only a few studios that can try and even match what Naughty Dog is doing because it's just too expensive. Because I can't even imagine what type of characters PS6 will be having. So it's just interesting to note that his perspective was it's actually going to get harder. Mm-hmm. So very interesting.
Same here, man. Same thought that I had. It was proper kind of sobering to hear that. Like it's almost like indie developers are under threat because these AAA experiences are getting just so ridiculous. I mean, I'm playing The Last of Us 2 here, and I was just taking my time with it and experimenting with like auto aim with no HUD and stuff to make it as cinematic as possible, but I was just kind of experimenting and messing around because I just couldn't believe what I was looking at on screen. Like the visuals that we're getting here is just nuts, and the physics and the animations, but how much time went into that, man. Incredible must be wincing and clutching his bumhole when he sees this, because of what he knows as a developer is what he sees is the amount of time and work gone into this, whereas all we see is how good this looks, you know?
Yep, true.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
It's crazy. Anyway, so let's roll on to the big boy topic, the second topic, that is state of play. How did you guys find it, man? Talk to me. Tell me what you loved especially about it. You know what I loved. I don't shut up about Callisto Protocol, so.
Yeah, that's the one that got me, man. That is the one that got me. I was just like, oh yes, give me some of that. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Like,
I'm really disappointed though, you know. I'm really disappointed. They've done RE4 remake before Code Veronica. What's up with that?
Oh right, yeah. Well, see, I was a bit. Now, I don't want to trigger Akira here, and he's probably gonna castrate me for this. But I was a little underwhelmed by the trailer. I felt like the trailer didn't reveal like it. All to me, all they needed was the sound of the chainsaw and the scream with Sackhead, like showing for a split second, and it faded into black with Resident Evil 4. That's all they needed. But instead we got like this kind of weird camera angle of him walking through this alley that was in the original, just more detailed. But I don't know, like I just felt like the trailer of Resident Evil 4 wasn't what I was expecting. It wasn't like a reveal trailer. It was like I don't know. It was strange.
All I'm praying for, dude, is that they don't butcher it like they did my poor Resident Evil 3. That's all I'm begging for, man.
Resident Evil 2 was good though, wasn't it? Resident Evil 2 remake. That was spot on.
It was brilliant. And all they had to do was do the exact same thing for 3. And instead they cut out half the game. I'm still sore about it. They ruined Nemesis too. I'm sorry, but they did.
But for me, I was happy that Resident Evil 4 is coming out. But from a trailer perspective, I'll be honest with you, I thought it was poor. But I'm still excited for the game. I probably will buy the game. But my problem is when they do too many cuts, you don't really enjoy it as well. And that's why even the last God of War trailer didn't beat the 2018 intro trailer where you just see somebody start, walk, and start to play. So I feel like Resident Evil 4 should have just shown what happens after he leaves the car and he goes into this iconic forest region, because that's the first thing that guys saw. Guys were like, the graphics are so good on GameCube. These dead trees, and he enters this village. They should have just shown 2 minutes of pure gameplay where you can just admire the graphics and what they have done. But because they changed the camera so much, even though they've done so much beautiful work, it became harder to see. So it became nearly like a teaser trailer rather than a gameplay trailer, That was my problem.
Yeah, I hear you. I gotta admit, man, there were some crazy bangers like Callisto Protocol. Looked dope for me. I know Ender Eternites is on everybody's radar. And by the way, guys, I wasn't trying to just bitch about Resident Evil 4. Then it's still a day one buy for me. I just thought that the way that they went with the trailer was an odd decision for me personally.
You're like,
I just want to say this is the first trailer, right?
Of what? Sorry?
This is the first trailer of Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Yeah.
It is literally an announcement trailer.
Yeah.
I don't think they even specified it's a gameplay trailer. Even The Last of Us 2's first trailer was an announcement trailer.
There was definitely gameplay in it. There was definitely gameplay.
No. The announcement trailer of Last of Us 2 was Ellie playing.
It was just a
guitar.
cutscene.
I mean the Resident Evil 4 remake trailer was definitely gameplay.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just announcement trailers in general.
Oh right, yeah.
I'm like this is a thing nowadays. Sometimes when it's not a CGI trailer, I'm just kind of happy about that already, because as long as I'm seeing at least an engine trailer, or not even an engine, actually the in-game cutscene, in-game gameplay trailer, even if it's just seconds for an announcement, I always just already feel happy about it instead of compared to getting a CGI trailer for an announcement. Mm-hmm. This is my reasoning why I think it was a great announcement trailer.
Yeah,
it's not a gameplay trailer, but it's an announcement trailer. And
I guarantee we all thought it was The Last of Us remake when the music started at the beginning before it went to Resident Evil. I swear that.
But that was the original. That was the original guitar from Resident Evil 4. That was the original sound.
It's been so long, mate. I haven't played it in 10 years, so I obviously forgot. But the guitar sounds similar to The Last of Us. It was funny. It's it definitely. But then again, like you said earlier on, Akira, The Last of Us wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Resident Evil 4. It definitely revolutionized the survival horror genre. Yeah. Dead Space itself wouldn't have existed without Resident Evil 4.
What I'm only trying to say is, I think it's just really an announcement trailer. My reasoning for this was they didn't even show the faces of the characters except for Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't show Leon's face. They didn't show Ada's face. They didn't show Louis' face. They didn't show any of the faces actually.
Exactly, it felt a bit like a teaser.
they only showed Ashley's face, but that's from a picture. They didn't even show her face while she was running away.
Yeah, they show
So
Leon
she was also turned her back from me.
in the car. They show him in the truck with his.
Yeah, but his face was still covered.
Yeah.
You only see him like side view. They covered the front face of every character, like the front view of their faces.
Here's a bit of gameplay here where he's walking through towards the gate. That's definitely gameplay.
They even darkened his face in one scene just to cover it, right? So I really think it was like a really teaser announcement type of way Capcom is doing. Yeah. It was actually, I've never seen this choice before. It's kind of a new thing for me to see Capcom do that, because Resident Evil 2 Remake and 3 Remake didn't do that. Like 4 Remake only got this give a taste of what's coming, and this is like for me Resident Evil 4. So all right, Resident Evil 3 Remake, right? I keep on needing to address this. Resident Evil 3 Remake. The reason, so I know it's a really short game, but as the game itself, it plays well. It's still a good game. Resident Evil 3, the original, is not even that long. If you remember, the clock tower was the only one missing. The big clock tower was missing. Nemesis was ruined. I can agree to that. But the thing is, the Resident Evil 3 Remake was worked on by M2, which was an outsourced studio. It was not Capcom Division 1, the people who worked on Resident Evil 2 Remake, which was the better one, the one the people love. And Resident Evil 4 Remake is being made by Capcom Division 1 and M2. So they have a support studio, which is M2, and the Capcom Division 1 are the main developers.
Right.
So, I'm just telling people, if you love Resident Evil 2 Remake, I really doubt there's anything to worry about. This is kind of like what I tell people right now with Resident Evil 4 Remake.
That's good news. Good news.
Capcom, in my opinion, let's say my skepticism for Capcom has been going down for a while now, because I've been seeing them making a lot of good decisions recently. When it comes to their games, they even saved some games that they failed before, like Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V was a disaster at launch. Now it's really an amazing game, and it's almost going to be the best-selling Street Fighter game. It is 100K more sales, and it's the best-selling Street Fighter game of all time. And it's kind of like how I see that Capcom is kind of it's Street Fighter V is just 100K sales away from beating Street Fighter 2. It's about to be the best-selling Street Fighter game of all time, and this was from a disaster of a launch, which tells me Capcom has been learning a lot from a lot of their stupid decisions.
I think Capcom last generation, that was their shifting point, because they focused on their internal engines. That RE engine is phenomenal. They've got it right. I'm glad that Street Fighter is no longer... I believe the last Street Fighter was using Unreal Engine 4. And Tekken was also using
exactly.
Unreal Engine.
Yeah, no, that's true. The Street Fighter was using Unreal Engine, and Tekken is still using Unreal Engine, even though Tekken 7, recently, again, also just announced that it's the best-selling Tekken of all time. Tekken 7 surpassed 9 million units.
What I want them to do for Namco is to get away from Unreal Engine. It's not that it's a bad engine. It's just that when you're seeing engines that are specifically made and catered for what these guys are trying to do, you see a massive jump. Resident Evil looks phenomenal. This Street Fighter looks leaps and bounds better than the last one. So I'm excited for what Capcom is doing. And the same thing with Square Enix. They were using Unreal Engine to do Final Fantasy Remake, and now when they've gone back and they're showing you what they're doing, because many years ago, I believe when the PS4 just came out, they showed what they want to achieve with their engine, their internal engine, the Luminous engine, and now we're seeing the fruits with Final Fantasy 16. So I just love when these studios go back to making their own engines. That gives us something that's unique to what they want to achieve.
So about engines, right? The RE engine definitely reminds me of the Fox engine. It is really such a great engine. It's one of the best engines alongside Decima engine, in my opinion. the RE engine. They really did something there that just nailed it for all of their games. It's kind of like the thing about Capcom's future, especially with this engine. I think is looking really bright. And like I said, Street Fighter 6. I've never expected Street Fighter to look that good. Like I expected a graphical leap, of course, but I didn't expect it to be that much. Like that was a lot. And I showed you guys I slowed down some clips, right? I showed you how Ryu's arm and muscles and every fiber of muscle in his body was flexing along while he was charging his Shin Shoryuken. That's a lot of details to put in that you can easily miss if you don't even watch it in slow motion. That tells you already that Street Fighter 6 is a big budget game, and that's also a good thing, to be honest, because the last big budget Capcom fighting game was Street Fighter X Tekken, which was as we all know, it failed. It didn't do well, and after that, the other Street Fighters, there's not a lot of budget to have in the first place. Street Fighter 5, Sony needed to assist them with budget. But now, they had a lot of success, and Street Fighter 6 is definitely a big budget fighting game. After a long time, they were able to do one again, and Street Fighter 6 is looking like a really strong start. And again, the RE engine, RE4 remake. I think we're getting a second trailer. We're gonna finally see the faces of these characters, because right now we only see Ashley. Now I'm kind of theorizing I really think Leon gets a different face model this time, face model actor. My reasoning for that is because they have this show called Infinite Darkness, right, in Netflix, and that was after Resident Evil 4, the events in that one. And if you saw what Leon looks like there, he looks very different, and that's why I really think they've been covering Leon's face, because I think it's part of the teasing. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are intrigued what he's gonna look like this time, because it's a modern graphic Leon, but a remake that definitely not gonna look the same as the original. Same with Ada as well. The Ashley, you guys saw Ashley, right? That was, the facial, the motion, the face that they used for Ashley was this Dutch model, from what I read. I saw her post on Twitter. It's just like the face of Ashley, and it looks really, really big improvement, to be honest, compared to the original. And there's Resident Evil 4 remake. My reasoning for not being worried about it is very simple. Capcom's been making a lot of good decisions. Resident Evil 3 remake's biggest blunder is cutting Clock Tower and making Nemesis not like Mr. X. It was, again, biggest blunder. I agree. But they made a lot of great decisions for the games, and this is why I think Capcom's learning a lot more, and I believe they are aware how popular, how beloved, and how important Resident Evil 4 is to them. They ported that game about 14 times. They ported Resident Evil 4 14 times, guys. It is the most ported Resident Evil game. And it's very obvious why they did it, because it is the most successful Resident Evil game. It is the most popular, and even though it has some people who don't like it, it's still the most beloved Resident Evil game. It's just a lot of people see Resident Evil 4 as one of the greatest games of all time, even developers themselves.
One of my favorites. I played it non-stop on the PS2.
Neil Druckmann is losing his mind right now. You saw his post. Man is losing his mind. The Resident Evil 4 remake got announced. But I really think I will wait for a second trailer. Reserve proper judgment to see proper gameplay, because Resident Evil 4, a lot of people has been pointing this out to me. Yes, of course, some of the controls are really dated. I cannot deny that. That is true. This is why Resident Evil 4 remake definitely is going to improve upon what they have already. which is 2 Remake, or even 3 Remake. 3 Remake has good gameplay despite of its flaws. Um, and I think they're going to capitalize on that, and they're going to improve that further because, of course, we know Leon from Resident Evil 4. He does kicks, he does suplex. He does more shit than than the normal Resident Evil game, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, including myself, wants to see that as well. I want my suplexes back. I want to be able to kick enemies. It saves bullets, or it's part of a strategy.
It's the same kind of principle with Metal Gear Solid 3. It's my favourite game of all time. But if they're going to remake it, they have to bring it up to date with the times and improve the fundamental controls and the way the game plays.
Yeah.
But if they do that, then Resident Evil 4 could be absolutely massive. I hope it's not just a
Resident Evil 4,
remaster.
yeah.
I hope it's not just a remaster, and if it is more than a remaster, and I don't, because like Demon Souls is just Demon Souls is just a remaster, right? It's a remake,
with
yes,
good graphics.
but it plays identically, but Demon Souls could get away with that because the gameplay was still virtually unchanged from what they released in freaking Elden Ring, for goodness sake. It plays very similar, whereas Resident Evil 4, it's a kind of a different kettle of fish. It's still incredible, but it definitely needs bringing up to date, and I do hope they do that.
So the things that I like from the trailer, just from that announcement trailer, is obviously this one is going to have more atmosphere. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more scarier. They're trying to capture a little bit more, scarier.
What are you buying? What are you selling?
Yeah, exactly. We haven't seen him yet. We need to see him as well. Of course, he's very important. But the Resident Evil 4 remake, I saw glimpses of a backstory that Resident Evil 4 original never really told. It never really told us, how Leon became a proper special agent. They just told us he is now, and we just accepted it. And in the trailer where he was talking to the president, it looks like we're seeing a proper flashback of Leon, as a young Leon becoming a special agent. Like I said, a proper backstory to him, which is always a good thing for me because I love continuations like that.
Yeah.
Another thing I like is this. There was this hint of mystery in the end of the trailer where Leon was talking about something that happened that night, something about very painful experience for him. This is actually, I think I really like that part because Leon did change drastically from Resident Evil 2 to Resident Evil 4. He became cocky and he has this one-liners, but he did change compared to him being a rookie cop before. His personality changed drastically, and there's got to be something that happened that really changed him because Darkside Chronicles from the Wii tells us about his story with Krauser, but it didn't really tell us a lot about Leon himself. And this is why when I saw that, I'm like, that is interesting that they want to capitalize on that. Another thing that I've been noticing from the trailer is they've been taking a lot of ideas from Resident Evil 3.5. You see, Resident Evil 4 before was it had a long ass development. It was kind of a development hell actually. So they had the first concept, and then they scrapped that, and they turned it into Devil May Cry. Resident Evil 4 was supposed to be Devil May Cry before. So they scrapped that, and they made Devil May Cry out of it. And there was a second one, which is Resident Evil 3.5, where there was a demo of Leon walking into this, this haunted mansion, where there's ghosts in it, and moving mannequins, and supernatural shit. And they have old concepts for his appearance. And they're kind of using that. The jacket looks very identical to Resident Evil 3.5. Ashley is wearing the red coat that was from the concept arts that was unused from the original Resident Evil 4. So there's they've been looking a lot of their old notes for Resident Evil 4 Remake. And in my opinion, that's actually a cool thing. It's like the opposite of what they're doing with Resident Evil 3 Remake. They're trying to, instead of find something to cut, they're trying to find things to put in. And for Remake, they're trying to expand and find things to put in it. And I think we're gonna see the execution, of course, but for first impression, that those are things I love to see, because again, I love that continuation. I love a proper continuation. But yeah, that's enough for Resident Evil 4. We need to move to the other games. Sorry.
Yeah, facts. That was
Sorry
an
about
awesome. No, that was an awesome breakdown, Akira, bro. And honestly, man, I'm hyped. I'm hyped to get back into that game. It's been so long since I played it, but I remember I played it when I was like I was 14. Lived lived at my at this big block of flats with my mum, and she would watch me play the entire thing, Resident Evil 4. And we spent like about 2 weeks where she couldn't wait for me to put Resident Evil 4 on. She was like, Jay, when you put in Resident Evil 4 on, I want to see what happens next. And it was just such an incredible experience, man. And I love the inventory management of it as well, the inventory management, and it was all just like, it was awesome.
Bought a GameCube for those games, man. Literally. As soon as that
GameCube, GameCube.
I went out and bought a GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a very good balance of horror and some fun stuff, some badass stuff, and some campy stuff. It was a really great balance. Resident Evil 4 found. It's kind of like despite of the serious stuff that they want to do and scary stuff they want to do. I think that's the only thing that I hope for. I hope the campiness doesn't get completely taken away. I think that's needed there.
Yeah. Go on, Oti.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the Callisto.
Yes, I was just about to bring
Yeah, we
that
go
up.
for that next. Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, let's do
Yeah,
it next.
because
Talk to me, man.
I was just feeling like the way we got to see like Naughty Dog rise in Uncharted 2. I feel like we might be seeing a new studio come up, because I was listening to what they were telling. I think they were talking to their investors or something, and they were saying they're confident that, I think they even used the word quadruple A to describe Callisto.
It sounds it,
but
dude.
what? Yeah. So when I was listening to them talk, they were telling the investors they are so sure this game is going to be really good. So what I saw was spectacular, and I just feel like I've never played Dead Space, so for me this is going to be a very good entry into that kind of series, and I'm just blown away by the detail and the way that trailer was done. That was one of the best trailers of the night.
Yeah, facts.
it was
Big
GameCube, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What I remember it was all.
So here's some information about Callisto. It's on PlayStation's developer blog, and it's interesting. PlayStation are getting cushy with this guy, Glenn Schofield. I do not blame them. This guy is one of the most insane talents in gaming. He's just proven with what we've seen with Callisto, the gameplay trailer that they revealed. I'm going to play it now. I'm just going to lie to PlayStation and tell them that I was born in 1950. No, 1970. Let's go 1973. Okay, cool. Sorry you can't access this content. What? Come on. Oh, for goodness sake. Right, let's try again. The trailer is coming up. So here's some information from the developer blog with PlayStation that Schofield did. He there we go. He basically said in so many words that there's some exclusive PlayStation 5 features happening with this game. I'm going to turn the volume up a little bit so you guys can hear it.
Take a look outside. Did you know that they call Callisto the dead?
Gonna have to hold on.
Dead.
Sorry.
Just like you would have been if I hadn't fished you out of that wreck. So whatever you're
It's not
holding
working.
onto right there,
Sorry, guys. There we go.
that's your old life. You gotta let that go. Because your new life is entirely in my hands.
By the way, I like the actor
Trying to give you
Yeah.
they chose, main protagonist. That guy is a very good actor.
His voice sounds similar
Wait, is
to
that an actor? Is that a real actor? He does look
Yeah, that's
like
a
an
real
actor.
actor.
To be honest.
it's
Oh wait,
It's
what's his name?
I've forgotten the name.
He sounds like Troy Baker in
Because
his
I've been-
voice.
Take a look outside.
I've been thinking, like, when I saw that guy, I'm like, is this guy a real actor? Because he looks familiar for some reason.
The voice
That was my
actor
first
here,
impression.
the voice actor talking right now sounds like Troy Baker.
Fished you out of that wreck.
It sounds just like him.
So whatever you're holding on to right there.
I mean, if it's Troy Baker, they would have revealed that immediately, right? I mean, it's Troy Baker. It's literally a marketing point.
No. I think they may reveal it later. I've noticed, like Horizon, they didn't tell us about so many of the great actors who are going to be in Horizon initially. It came towards the end, so they may be using the same tactic. But it did sound like Troy.
Holy shit, this looks so good. I just can't get my head around it, how good it looks. Like, just watching the trailer right now, it's just mind-blowing. Holy shit.
No, so again, Callisto Protocol is definitely, you see the Dead Space, thing, right? You see the Dead Space vibes from it, but at the same time, it's a completely different game. There is some familiarity, but at the same time, it's different, and I think that's a really great thing to do, connecting to what Incredible said about focusing on what you do best, basically. So this guy basically focused on what he does best, which is the game like Dead Space, which is one of his crown jewels, and then made something out of it. Though he evolved that to something different, and I think it's really admirable to be able to do that without looking like a carbon copy.
Striking Distance Studios have seriously flexed with this, and Phil Schofield's developer blog with PlayStation, he basically said that they're taking full advantage of the PS5's 3D audio capabilities, and they've even got acoustic ray tracing, diffraction, and portaling to fully immerse players in the world. So, like, imagine a corridor and the echoes of the sound reverberate realistically down the corridor. And off whatever objects are in the room or around you, and like acoustic ray tracing plus with the 3D Tempest audio on the PS5, it's gonna be just a whole different level. They've also got haptic feedback implementation, and they're using a unique game development tool that they've designed. And I'm trying to find where they call it. I actually posted a tweet on it here. Let me just get the tweet up and show you guys. Posted it very recently. Here we go. Here we are. So they're creating terrifying moments Glenn, I can't even speak right now. Glenn Schofield said that creating terrifying moments in games is hard. The team uses horror engineering to craft unforgettable scares. So they're coining it horror engineering. It's an actual game development tool that they've created, blending atmosphere, tension, brutality, helplessness, and humanity to thrill players and hopefully scare the crap out of them. I love it. And he then goes on to say they're utilizing the PS5's unique hardware with 3D ray traced audio, as well as haptic feedback implementation. So overall, guys, it's sounding like a quadruple A project, like you mentioned, OT.
Yep. Yeah, but one of the things that excites me about some of these games like Callisto and Resident Evil is if you look at a game like Horizon, they've managed to do 4K 60 frames in an open world, and it looks absolutely stunning. We haven't yet seen a high budget corridor-ish kind of. I feel like we're going to get a game that looks like a movie, Callisto, nearly looked like a movie trailer in some scenes. And it's definitely of lower scope. It's not like an open world game. But it excites me that I feel like we're going to see some visuals. Let me say we have begun to see visuals on these consoles that is truly breathtaking.
Yeah, big facts. There was an actual moment in Callisto Protocol trailer where there's like a body on the ground and it gets snagged up and pulled up above you. I'll find it. Is it here? Here we go. I'll bring the screen up. And the way that it's done, it's just like the animation quality is. I'm just not used to seeing this level often in video games. I mean, there's The Last of Us 2, which obviously has kind of set a huge benchmark in animation quality, but what we're seeing here is kind of like it looks on par. It looks on par in terms of animation. That scene then, just the it's crazy. It's nuts how much detail is gone into this game. It's incredible. I'm sold. This is my second most anticipated game, other than God of War Ragnarok, easily.
Is it cross-gen or next-gen only?
I think it's cross-gen. I don't know how they've done it. It's coming to PS4 and PS5. Pardon?
I was just wondering. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I can't wait.
I can't get my head around how they've managed to get this playing on a PS4, but yeah, that system has legs, man. So, is there anything else?
You know what I think they're doing?
Go on, Oti.
I was just gonna say, I think what they're doing is they have two sets of models, like Horizon. Aloy on PS5 is different from Aloy on PS4. So I think the details we saw in this character, I don't think PS4 is going to be anywhere close. I think there are two sets.
Yeah. Zuby Texture said, great to see PlayStation have marketing rights for this. And yeah, OT, exactly. I think they will have separate models for each version. Absolutely.
He's off his hand there.
Like when you're watching it slowly, you can really appreciate just how much detail has gone into this. It's looking to be a freaking masterpiece in every sense of the word. It's what made Dead Space so incredible, but it outdone itself once again. Look at that, man! Freaking look at that! Just go back. Watch this. Just watch this, guys. Bam! Look at his head. Look at it. Dude, this is The Last of Us 2 level, but higher fidelity. Like, this is crazy. This is nuts. This is insane production value on this game. It's insane. I can't get my head around it. So yeah, safe to say, guys, this is easily my most anticipated game besides God of War Ragnarok, and I think it's going to redefine survival horror genre. Like, that is just outrageous. That is just absolutely outrageous. What is showing? Look at this. What this monster does to this guy's head. Like, and it shows it all so realistically. Like, flipping heck, man. It's not for the faint of heart. But yeah, the production values in this game, man. I can't quite get my head around it. The ambition and talent. Where did this studio come from? Does anyone know? What are they called? Striking Distance Studios. I can't remember what they're called. Let me double check. you guys are still there. Yeah, Striking Distance
Yep.
Studio. Striking Distance Studio.
Yeah, no.
Who are they and where did they come from? Does anybody know?
Hey, Wooly, you know what this is reminding me of? It's reminding me of this game we used to love. This game, The Order. What was it called?
The Order 1886.
18.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, where did that studio come from? Yet they produced one of the best visuals for the gen. You know, so it's interesting to see. I've been doing some research into the link between movie studios and video game developers. It's starting to merge. So you're getting these guys who make models for movies that are photorealistic coming back into games. You know, they're merging so much. So you end up getting very serious talent even in an unknown studio simply by who they manage to acquire or hire.
It's freaking nuts. They're led by Dead Space and Call of Duty franchise veteran Glenn Schofield. And it's all about you're on Black Iron, which is a dead moon orbiting Jupiter, basically. It's got such a cool story behind it, such a cool theme. And yeah, I just can't get enough of this, guys. But anyway, I'm going to stop fanboying over this. So we've discussed Resident Evil 4, Callisto Protocol. Is there anything else that stood out to you guys from the show?
Oh, wait, so Street Fighter 6, of course.
Oh, yeah, Street Fighter 6, of course. That was obviously it. So I wasn't the only one. I said this on Salty's Gaming Podcast, which is kind of a strange it's no coincidence that I immediately got vibes of that Tekken 3 mode. You know, Tekken 3, there was that mode where you were walking through the streets and it was 3D. And
you were
Tekken Force.
Mm-hmm.
Tekken Force.
What's it called?
Right,
Tekken Force. Tekken Force. Yeah.
Force.
It gave me
Tekken Force.
It gave me Tekken Force vibes, and it's like they've taken that concept but amped it up to 11 and put it in an open world.
I love the art style, man. The new art style is awesome looking.
It looks incredible.
All that color, all the color graffiti stuff. Like I don't know whether it's a special hit you do or what, but yeah, man, I love the effect of it. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the way the muscles. I think Akira broke it down on his. He showed like the muscle flexing and stuff. It's like they've got full body physics or something, man. It's really impressive. Like,
yeah. Even a
really
bum
big
wobbles
budget.
when she kicks him. Like you see a bum wobble and shit.
It's a big budget fighting game, but the colors, man. The colors.
Yeah, I love that.
It does look incredible.
So this is right. The first thing that I noticed when the trailer started is the game was so colorful. It was eye-poppingly colorful.
Yeah.
Like every color was just like the color was not overwhelming. You know, it was not overwhelming. It was just right. It just looked right the way they use color.
Facts. OT will go
because
on.
the realistic looking character models. And then
sorry.
Go ahead. It's alright. No, it's alright.
I was saying that remember when you I don't know if you guys played Soul Calibur on Dreamcast. I remember there's this guy called Astaroth, and when he would strike, sometimes his chest would shake. It was the first game I ever played which had muscle deformation, and it only had it for Astaroth's chest. Do you guys remember that?
I wasn't looking at his chest.
Nah, but it was like he would stamp the ground and his chest would shake. So it was what they've done with Street Fighter is muscle deformation. Literally, they've simulated the muscles on his
similar
bicep.
to Miles Morales with AI. Do you reckon it's AI
Exactly.
based? Or...
But from my memory, I think it was Soul Calibur on Dreamcast was the first one to actually implement some sort of it. So they could only do it for the chest. So
Dead or Alive, man. Dead or Alive. If you set your age to 100, then titties would bounce, man.
Oh yeah, the titties. Yeah, right, the titties. How did I forget?
Oh man,
Bounce,
I will
like-
never forget the titties.
I forgot, you're right. They don't like had it.
That game,
You mean
man.
titties are the first muscle deformation in gaming? Because there's nothing else. Yeah, and that was on PS1.
There's not better than a
That
bit of
is
booty.
insane.
It definitely wasn't machine learning, though. I think we can all agree to that.
Yeah.
But for real, this Street Fighter 6 is looking so fire. It's incredible. Hats off to these guys, man. They've saved the year for Xbox. Because
So, about Street Fighter 6. So apart from the colors again, Street Fighter 6. I've been reading a lot.
When's this coming out, Akira? Sorry.
About. Is that, huh?
When's this coming out?
Oh, it's 2023.
Oh, it's 2023. All right, sorry, yeah.
So this is the thing.
It's Callisto.
I've been reading
It's
a lot
Callisto,
because
right? That's 2022, right? Callisto. It's December.
Yeah, Callisto is December
Oh, right,
2nd.
yeah.
December 2nd. I've been reading a lot on their website, right? Street Fighter 6, and so my impressions from what they showed is that if they can nail everything that they want to do, then they can actually change the fighting game genre. They can evolve it to higher heights. They can lead innovation for the fighting game genre if what they're doing here works out. So one of the things that's worth noting is the World Hub. The World Hub is a very interesting concept right now with Street Fighter 6 because it's not fully clear what exactly this is, but the World Hub before was just it was you fighting different characters all around the world, right? And in the World Hub, it seems like you can do a lot more things. It seems like you have an avatar, and you can do stuff. It's like by the way, they mentioned that it's a single player experience. So that the part of the trailer where this avatar was running around and climbing around and doing a shoryuken, that was a single player experience. That was not online. That was single player.
Wow.
So they're trying to really address a very big criticism for Street Fighter V launch, which is the single player was lacking because they only released a single player after 6 months after launch, and that was really bad. And they had a really weak roster at the launch, so that was also very bad. And from the leaks, it looks like they have a big roster coming up. The designs of every character looks amazing in my opinion.
Yeah, they
I
look
love every
incredible.
single one of them. The Street Fighter 6 is looking like it's coming after Third Strike, because I've been seeing a lot of signs that it's coming after Third Strike, and Third Strike is my favorite Street Fighter game. So that's another plus to me. For example, just one example, if you want to know one of the signs is like in Third Strike's ending for Ryu, he's training under this character named Oro. I don't know if you guys are familiar. Oro is like this dude. He has a violet robe. He's one of the DLC characters from Street Fighter V. And the ending was Ryu is training under him. Now in Street Fighter 6, if we're going to look at Ryu's design, he's wearing Oro's robe. He's wearing it. Like he became master now. Like there's a continuation. Like he became master now, and he's wearing his robe. We don't know if he's dead or you just gave him to him, but he's wearing it. That's Oro's robe, his master's robe. That kind of continuation, like Chun-Li training this girl. In Chun-Li's Third Strike ending, she saved this orphan girl named Li Fen, and she's also been training her, and it looks like she's all grown up from the trailer, if that's really Li Fen. And that's another Third Strike continuation. So like I said, it's looking like Street Fighter 6 comes after Third Strike. Another thing is the drive mechanics. The drive mechanics is, a drive mechanic is happening when these graffiti colors is on the screen. You notice them, right? These blue, violet, or red, yellow, so many colors. It's crazy. It's an insane color show when you look at it. Like game's gonna look so colorful when in action, and those drive
by the way,
mechanics.
sorry guys, I've got to go.
Okay, OT,
I've got to go. But I just want to say the guy who is the main protagonist, the main character in Callisto Protocol, he's called Josh. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Duhamel. He's the guy of Transformers,
Josh.
Life as We Know It.
How do you spell his surname?
Duhamel.
Oh,
Duhamel.
So it's
I
really an
recognize
actor?
him. Yeah, I recognize him. You know what? Yeah,
That's-
I see it now. Flipping heck.
Yeah,
That makes complete
that's the main
sense.
character, and he's
That's
a good
cool.
actor. So I think this will be a very nice campaign, based on what it's looking like.
Yeah.
So take care, guys.
Nice.
eh?
Take care, OT.
All right.
See
No,
you,
take
brother.
care. But yeah,
Bye.
Street Fighter 6 again. The
Take
drive
care.
gauge can be a game changer if they nailed that. Whatever they want to do there. And there's still a lot of unannounced things that that they didn't show. They didn't show my favorite character, which is Ken. I only saw him in leaks, but I want to know what's going on because you saw his appearance. He's looking pretty rough. But no, man. Street Fighter 6 again is a day one. It's been a long time since I've been excited for a Street Fighter game.
Yeah,
And I'm really glad that it's
I'm
moving.
loving the open world aspect of it, and it's just it's completely reinventing itself. Like, it's not recycling character models or anything like that.
Also, it's more accessible, by the way, because they're doing the classic controls, which is the hard ones, and modern controls, which is simplified controls.
nice.
So it's accessible for everyone, to veterans and to newcomers who want to jump into a Street Fighter, your first fighting game. This is the game that you can
Similar
do it
to
for.
Devil May Cry 5, that isn't it? They have similar thing going on where they have
No, I mean when it comes
easy
to fighting
controls.
games,
Or
yeah, when it comes to fighting games, simplified controls are kind of becoming part of it. Like, for example, Dragon Ball Fire Z is actually pretty simple when it comes to controls. DNF Duel looks like it's really simple when it comes to controls. Street Fighter 6 also applied an assisted combo mechanic. This was already a thing since Marvel vs. Capcom 3. From the PS Vita, I remember that there was an auto combo button for the PS Vita.
holy shit.
And they are making Street Fighter 6 as accessible as possible to a lot of people. That's why it's also multiplat. They have the budget now to make it a multiplat, and they want to make it accessible as much as possible. Not only to fighting game fans, not only to Street Fighter fans, but also to people who just want to try to jump in and see. They did reinvent Street Fighter. They did reinvent it. It's like a new game all over again. It's a really great achievement, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. So, that's for Street Fighter.
This clip right here looks incredible. What about you, Retro? Day one
Yeah.
buy for you?
And the new characters, of course. Jamie's a new character in Luke, and they're pretty cool. They're
Retro?
pretty cool.
What about you?
Maybe not. I've never really been into Street Fighter, to be honest. I love the look
at this,
of it,
bro. Look at this.
but
Look
no,
how
I
good
do.
it
I've
looks.
seen it, man. It's awesome, but I don't know, man. I've always been
Also,
more of a Tekken, Soul Calibur kind of player.
Actually,
I mean,
Tekken is
Yeah,
my
okay.
main fighting game, but Street Fighter 6 I'm definitely jumping in. But no, the thing is, what do you call this? Street Fighter 6 also does this thing that I've been noticing. There's this theme in Street Fighter 6. It's like a new generation versus old generation thing.
Yeah.
Like I've been noticing this because Luke and Jamie, they're new characters. They're the new generation, of course. Ryu and Chun-Li, they're legacy characters. They're the old generation. They're the masters, basically. They're the ones
Awesome
who,
way.
like
The anime
like
is
it,
brilliant.
like if you notice in the trailer, the way they introduce Luke and Jamie are kind of like you can actually sense they're new characters, and Ryu and Chun-Li, they were like flexing because they're the masters now. They're kind of flexing that they're the masters, and they're showing that Ryu looks very wise. I love Ryu's introduction in this trailer.
Yeah.
Like he just looks so graceful, man. Like he just looks so awesome.
It's
And
definitely a story being told. Sorry, Retro, what were you gonna say, bro?
was just saying, I love the weight of the moves. If you look every time there's a move that connects, it looks like there's actual weight behind it, and there's a connection made. It's really well done. Like the animation. I mean, if you look, you see what I mean. It just feels like there's weight behind the hits. It's awesome. I do really like the look of it. If enough people get it, I will buy it just to play against this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I'm in a similar boat to Retro. In all honesty, Akira, like I'm not a huge fan of fighting games. Unlike you're a games aficionado and you live for this shit. I've kind of shied away from them. My favorite fighting game is probably was Dragon Ball Z. What do you call it?
Fighters.
No.
Budokai?
Budokai.
Budokai Tenkaichi?
It's
Budokai Tenkaichi?
There was two.
Yeah.
There was two released. Like they were quite popular about 5 years ago.
It's like a bit free roaming.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
See, I love those games, but because they were accessible, and I'm a bit. Yeah, I also love this the DC Universe one. Injustice, yeah. But like that was my limit kind of for games. But Street Fighter really is it's teasing me, fam. Like I'm 100% getting into this game. I also wanted to talk to you guys about Final Fantasy 16. I know Akira's gonna absolutely just go off on one about this game because it's his most anticipated game of all time. So before Akira, before you go ham on this bad boy, I want to get Retro's thoughts first. Retro, what about you, dude? Like, how are you feeling about this game?
Yeah, I definitely want it. 15 didn't hit for me. I'm not really sure why or what it was. It just didn't hit for me. But this new one, man, it looks like it's kind of going back. I can't remember whether it was Final Fantasy X or so with the kind of like oldie style look to the characters, but also still being contemporary. I can't remember what numbered game that was, but I just love the fact that it's kind of going back to almost like the summons and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
You can get really summons versus summons in this.
Wait, you're talking about are you talking about 10? Your last one?
I think so.
10?
I think so.
10?
I think so. I think was that the one that looked kind of almost similar in the style of characters.
No, I mean, can you at least do you remember the appearance of the main character that you're using?
It's been a while. I'll have to look through, but I'll look through and let you know. But I'm gonna let you pop off because I know you got some shit you want to say.
Nah, man, you say everything you want to say about 16. Report first.
No, that's it. I'm really looking forward to it. It's not turn based this time, is it? It's
No. It looks like they're going full action with some RPG elements. I'm gonna try to break it down later. Why I think there's a lot of RPG elements to it.
It looks fantastic. What engine are they using at the minute on it? Is it the Luminous engine?
This is actually interesting because I have not seen a proper confirmation for its engine yet. But I really think this is Unreal Engine, if I'm not mistaken. This is what I'm guessing. I don't know if it's Luminous because Luminous is for spoken right now. But again, there's no. I didn't see a proper confirmation, so don't take my word for it.
See, look at that, man!
It's giving me Luminous vibes at times, but then in other occasions it's not.
It's thrown me, man.
Yeah. It's given, it could well be Unreal Engine, to be honest, but who knows? It's odd. I'm not quite sure which engine it's running off, but it's looking fire, bro. Like it gives me in terms of the setting, the kind of location and style of monsters and shit. It's giving me almost Witcher vibes. It's almost like it's kind of got like certain inspiration of that kind of Polish kind of locale to some of the things, especially from the original trailer shown. It's not showing as much of that area in this trailer, but there's more of a medieval kind of Eastern European kind of vibe. Go on.
I'm saying it reminds me of 11. The look of the characters and stuff. I thought it was 10. It's not. It's 11.
Final Fantasy 11. I'm trying to remember what that one was
Yeah.
like.
You have
I love that. That was
very much.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, I know what you
it's
mean.
reminiscent of that look to me, which is I'm
No,
excited
no, I
for
know what
it.
you mean.
Sorry, Retro. Finish your last piece, bro. Sorry, bro. It kind
Oh,
of.
that was it. That's what I was saying. It's just that's the Final Fantasy 11. That's kind of what the look of the game reminds me of. You know, with the armor and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going for a very kind of
That's
almost Castlevania-esque kind of setting in a way.
Yeah.
Like it's really cool, man. I'm seeing that kind of medieval-ish Eastern European vibe in a lot of games coming out. It's Project Awakening, Final Fantasy 16, flipping Crimson Desert. There's kind of elements of inspiration from kind of Dragon's Dogma, Tolkien, that kind of area of lore and mythology kind of being taken but changed slightly in each kind of game. And what Final Fantasy 16 is doing in this instance seems to be like a hybrid of Japanese fantasy mixed with kind of almost Witcher-like fantasy as well. It's really cool. Really cool. Go on, Akira.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 16, the Dominance trailer. Definitely an amazing trailer. So first things first, the thing I'm most happy about for Final Fantasy 16 that they confirmed was the composer, the music. It's Masayoshi Soken, and Soken is the same composer from Final Fantasy 14, which is for me one of the best. Has one of the best soundtracks from Final Fantasy. I love a lot of soundtracks from Final Fantasy 14. So when Soken got confirmed, actually they didn't even need to confirm it by word. I actually heard it was Soken through the trailer. Like that trailer was definitely Soken. It was Soken written all over it, and that is great because it's going to be a lot of great music and soundtracks that we're gonna be witnessing from this. And the trailer, this Final Fantasy is really a bit different. The reason for that is because in Final Fantasy normally the summons, the summons are normally they're like a supporting characters for your character. They really support you there, even in terms of story, or sometimes they even put them in plot points, but they don't get as engaged as what they're doing in 16. It's like in 16 that the story is revolving around the icons themselves. Like every icon, which is a summon, every icon has a dominant. A dominant is like an avatar. It's like the person, persona basically. Yeah. So every icon has a person. It seems like, if this is not confirmed, but from what I'm noticing, there's multiple kingdoms and in Final Fantasy 16, and it seems like each kingdom has their own icon, like has their own representative icon, that kind of thing. And so for now, there was only confirmed Titan. Well, no, they introduced all the icons: Titan, Shiva, Bahamut, Odin, really big name ones, Ifrit. What do you call it? Ramu? Yeah, exactly.
Titan.
Ramu. No, yeah. So Shiva, Ramu, Titan, Ifrit, Bahamut, Odin. I think there was one more.
Salamut. I can't remember his name.
No. There's one more I missed. I really think there's more.
Bahamut, is it?
No, I did say that. I did say Bahamut. Wait a sec. I got a picture of that actually. I got a picture of all of them. Bahamut. Oh, Garuda. No, I mentioned them all. Oh no, Phoenix. There it is. Phoenix was the missing one. So yeah, Phoenix, Titan, Garuda, Rudra, Ramu, Odin, Shiva, Bahamut, Ifu. The most interesting thing about this cast of icons is that they're arguably one of the more popular ones, in terms of the Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy itself. And so, again, every icon is done. It's like the story is revolving around it, especially with the kingdoms. And it seems like so basic synopsis, which is technically there's nothing to understand yet, even if you know it, is that our main character, Clive, is looking for something called the Dark Ifrit. That's what they called it. It's a Dark Ifrit, and there's this woman, the blonde one, is Benedicta. She's also looking for that, and that's why they kind of join together in that journey, finding one. Now, this kind of semi-confirms there are party members in story, but like in gameplay, it looks like the party member in gameplay looks like it's you accessing other abilities from the other icons. Because that's what I'm seeing from the gameplay. Clive is using a bunch of other skills from other icons. So if you watch the trailer, in the bottom in the upper left corner of the screen, you can see there's this spinning thing, and there's pictures of the icons from it. And it's like a Devil May Cry weapon change, where you change a weapon or you change an icon that points out to that icon. And that's very funny because, again, the battle director of this game is the battle director of Devil May Cry, Marvel vs. Capcom, Dragon's Dogma. So that was that was pretty obvious. It was a very Devil May Cry looking.
For those who
aesthetic.
For those who haven't played Dragon's Dogma, it has some of the best combat in RPG history. Like, the combat is incredible, and the same guy also designed the Devil May Cry 5 combat, and he's the same guy who's also designing the combat of Final Fantasy 16.
Final 16, yeah. The thing about this now, the reason why I believe that this is not fully hack and slash is because on the bottom right corner of the screen, you'll see these commands. Right? If you're looking at the trailer, you'll see these commands in the bottom right corner of the screen. And they're obviously like choices of attacks based on which summon you're using right now.
So you think it's going to be like a hybrid of like Final Fantasy VII?
Yeah. It's a little bit of a hybrid. It's almost like a Tales of Arise, to be honest. It's kind of a hybrid Tales of Arise, but faster and more complete and deeper, more in-depth combat. Because I'm kind of noticing each summon also gives you ability to certain weapons or gets you access to certain weapons. And this is like this is where combat or customization goes deep, and that's where the RPG mechanics kicks in. To be able to make your own, make your own character play not like everybody else, but play different. It's kind of like the soul of a JRPG, and that's why this is not fully hack and slash. It is a hybrid. It's a hybrid of hack and slash and JRPG elements. And you know what? I've never properly seen that before, so I'm all in for it. I'm just saying I'm all in for it.
Yeah.
Graphics is, there's nothing to talk about the graphics. All I'm gonna say is that game is gonna look different again when they show it again.
It's definitely been
because
improved.
The game is playable. The game is playable from start to finish, and they're gonna take 1 year to polish everything from gameplay to graphics. So that game is gonna look completely different. It's gonna look completely different again when it shows itself again. Again, the music, the part where they showed the fucking summons and the music just goes hard. That's just so.
The choir actually singing. The choir actually singing the individual names of the various summons, which is pretty cool. Guys, what a phenomenal fire show it's been. There was more to talk about, which we could have. Retro, you wanted to touch on as well, like the hilarity of since the NFT have kind of cracked down on bribery. Suddenly, every motherfucker loves PlayStation again. every blue tick is praising PlayStation. it's no.
Suddenly the Game Pass praise isn't so prevalent anymore, and it's like, what changed, lads? What changed?
IGN have just bigged up
every week.
PlayStation again. Like, it's hilarious.
It's just, I thought it was funny. I don't know how true it is, or you know what I mean. Obviously, I don't. You know what I mean. I don't have access to their bank accounts, but it's just funny. It's just funny that came out and then suddenly there's a change in what's being reported and how it's being reported.
Exactly. You know what? We all know it. We can all see it. We're not dumb. But yeah, we kind of ran out of time to discuss all of that. But guys, it would have been funny to touch on. Maybe on the next show we can go slightly more in depth about that. But yeah, thank you Akira and Retro for hanging to the end, and it's just been awesome, man. Shout out to Goran or Incredible on Discord for hanging out with us. It was awesome to get his thoughts on the current climate for developers and more about Ripout the game. Definitely look into that game, fam. You can get a demo for free on Steam now. A free demo is available. I didn't realize this until tonight. They're no longer just giving out codes, but actually the demo itself is available to all to play. So maybe hook up with your friends on it, play some co-op. I've not yet had that privilege, but it's a lot of fun. And shout out to him. It's been awesome. Also to OT, you can definitely give OT a follow. You can find his link in the description below on this video. And thank you to OT for joining us as well. And Mr. Retro, where can we find you, my guy?
You can find me on Twitter, XTSXRetro. Yeah, and if you want to add me to PSN or Xbox, my gamer tags are up in my bio. Awesome. Oh, just a quick shout out while I'm here, Willie. Social Destruct, he's an impatient fella. Fair play to him. He went out and got me. He actually went out and bought codes to go and get me Sniper Elite 5 because he couldn't wait for me to get it. So shout out to him. I appreciate it. And the next game's on me, fella. So
what a Chad. Social is one of the most generous people I know. He's been such a kind, generous man. Like, he bought me a flipping VR headset because he wanted me to experience it, and just couldn't get my head around it, bro. But yeah, he's such a likable, kind, extremely generous man. So thank you, Social, for all that you do for this community, brother. And that's awesome. I've also got Sniper Elite 5 on the way. It's in the post. So once we get it, we'll all have to co-op it together. That would be awesome. Yeah. Akira, brother, where can we find you, my dude? Akira?
Sorry, no, sorry. I'm just on Twitter talking about games. I'm just standing by for game news, man. That's all I'm doing right now.
Awesome. You've been getting into 3D animation as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm still doing. I'm actually doing it right now, and
awesome.
Yeah, I'm working on it. It's very difficult, but it's fun.
Sweet, awesome, man. Keep it up. But yeah, where can we find you on Twitter?
No, so my app is Leon S _K_. That's it. I made it shorter to make it easier.
Leon S _K_. I tell you what, you with forever changing your names, you're doing my freaking nutting. I'm only joking.
Yeah, it's the thing I do. Yeah.
Leon S _K_. Cool. All right, sweet. I'll change that in the description. Guys, everyone in the chat, you have all been awesome tonight. Thank you to all of you for supporting the show.
Take care, guys.
We really appreciate you. And until next time, don't be a donut. Use your noggin. We love you. Peace out.
Good night, people.